Witchbird. Today I bring you my Sew April Blouse 25 entry, but before that let's chat about this one that I'm wearing. This could be an option for you. It is a woven blouse. This one is the Inch to Stitch Seychelles top. I made it in a rayon, but potentially it probably would have been better in something a little bit firmer to show off the gathers along the shoulder line here. But I really love the V. I love the voluminous nature of it. The sleeves has got a cuff with a wee button, and you can do the short sleeve version as well, which is really cute. So that could be an option if you're looking for a woven blouse. And I really do want to make this one again. I think it's a great pattern. The V especially is very flattering. Anyway, let's move on to my entry, and I'll bring red forward a bit. Might bring forward a bit more. I'm just going to drop the camera down. Okay, I've chopped my head off, but the more important thing is that you want to actually see the top. So this is the Danielle top by Seamwork, and I've hacked it. So the first thing I did was I omitted the frill that's supposed to go around here, and I'll put a pic out here showing you what it's meant to look like. So I took the frill away and just used the facing. And instead of doing the buttons down the front, I've done ties, and I'll let you know what I did with those. I did 1 1/4 inch pieces of fabric, and they're 11.5 inches long, and I bagged them out, and then I just hand sewed the little ends because I didn't quite know what to do with them. Now when I did the ties up, because you do a knot, it left a gap there. So what I've done is I've put studs, crest studs, to secure the facing in the placket. So the reason why I decided to choose this pattern is because it's actually got a placket going all the way down underneath here, and that meant that it was good for having that overlap, because sometimes with ties and that you get that gaping. So what I did is I sandwiched the ties between the facing, no, I get confused which side it is, but the facing piece that doesn't have the placket, and on the other side that has the placket, I put them before the placket, so they go directly onto the front piece. Now the sleeves are just a smooth set-in sleeve, however I hacked the sleeves as well. I was just going to do the cut and spread technique, but I ended up using a pattern that I'm keen to actually try out. It's actually a Simplicity 8839. I used the View D sleeve, and if this pattern's still available, I'll put it out to the side there, and I just overlaid them on top of each other and kept the same head, but got the voluminous in the sleeve. I didn't alter the length that the pattern piece had, and I just folded under the seam allowance along the bottom and put elastic in. So just see if I can bring her up a bit. She's a wee bit whoopsie today. Now round the back, I don't really can see this on camera, I decided to top stitch the facing down. Now, I had a bit of a problem when I was choosing sizes, because on the pattern, I'll read what it says about it. It says the slim fit blouse teaches you how to sew some classic romantic details. The Danielle blouse features a dramatic ruffled collar, French darts, and rouleau button loops, which obviously I didn't do, with shank buttons with a V neckline. The fitted cuff, which I didn't do, also has a rouleau button closure, allowing you to practice sewing self-cording. With its slim fit, you can easily tuck this blouse into pants, shorts or skirts, or you can load it over a slip dress. In addition, the collar is faced, so you'll easily omit the ruffle if it's not your style, which I did. Now, the pattern comes in sizes 00 to 16 is drafted for a C cup and a height of 5 feet 8 inches, and our block sizes 12 to 30 are drafted for a double D cup and a height of 5 foot 9 inches. Now, what I didn't do is I didn't read that, and I chose the size 14. I'm just going to put the screen back up again so you can see me. Otherwise it feels like you're talking to a dummy, or watching a mannequin, I should say. That's better. Anyway, the mistake I made was I didn't read that, and I made the 14, and I started to panic when I was cutting the 14 out, thinking, actually, I'm worried it's not going to fit me. So just to make sure it was going to fit, I added 2 centimeters to the back on the fold, and I did a little stitch there just to give a little bit of fullness across the back, which will then obviously make it a little bit fuller in the front. But had I read that it was for a double D cup, I don't think I actually really need it, and basically I sized down to the 14. If I made the size 00 to 16, the 16 would probably be the one that I'd go for. So I'm really happy with it, and I'll put some pics of me wearing it, and obviously the pic of what the top actually looks like, the line art and the actual original pic. But I had this idea in my mind for quite some time, because there's been a number of blouses out on YouTube and social media with the ties, and I've always wanted a tie one. I was going to buy a pattern with the ties, and I thought, actually, I can just hack a pattern that I've already got. So that's essentially what I did, and I'm really happy with it. And it just shows you that, you know, you see a base silhouette that you quite like, you can just change it up. So I'm hoping to get this, if it's not already, on Instagram, and yeah, get sewing those blouses and put a pic up. Make it as simple or as hard as you want, and it's just great to see everyone's ideas and creativity at all sewing levels. Anyway, that's all for this week. Next week I'm bringing you my new leisure lounge casual outfit that I've made, and it is from the Big 4 Patterns. So until then, thanks for watching. Bye now.